Ramadan Mubarak to those that know what's going on. You feel me? Un momento. You feel me? Yeah, I had to come and tap in, beloved. Briefly, you already know the count. Straight Talk Saturdays. You feel me? Before we even get started, let me start by saying this. Long live Neighborhood Nick. Tomorrow, March 31st, I'm pretty sure that's 5 years, you feel me? 2019, we lost a good brother. You know what I'm saying? A pillar in the community, a staple to the culture. You dig? Definitely an inspiration to me personally. So yeah, you know, I ain't even think about it. I'm wearing blue today, you feel me? It's raining, but we are the sons of the sun. We are the children of the pyramid, so we shine wherever we go. We are the abundant light, you feel me? So yeah, I just want to go ahead and acknowledge that before we even get started. My subject for today, I'm going to try to be brief. Some of y'all know that's like a running joke. I say that all the time, but you feel me? I can be Mr. Long Wind. I gets it in. But my subject for today is the story of the boy and the king. Since it's the holy month of Ramadan, since we observing the fast, inshallah, you know, may Allah make it easy for those of us that's striving. I'm going to go ahead and get into that story and the message and the moral and the substance therein, or what have you. But the reason why I'm doing this is because in this life, people will try to get you to compromise on your morals and integrity for worldly fame, acclaim, and accolades. You feel me? I've been doing this music thing relentlessly nearly 20 years, almost 2 decades. And throughout that time, you know, I've been blessed to work with some people, travel, you know what I mean, and expand as far as my skill set, my threshold, you know what I mean, as far as that goes, what I'm capable of doing on the microphone. My pen game been flame, y'all playing crazy, I'm clinically insane, you feel me? Yeah, we've been doing this for a minute, you know what I'm saying, been the realest in it. But in this industry, you find that people try to get you to compromise on your morals and integrity. And what I mean is, it's a lot of mainstream artists that are A-list celebrities. You know what I mean? They're public figures. They have all of the accolades that I was just speaking about that come with the game. They might be Grammy Award winners, Oscar Award winners, American Music Award winners, what have you. But what we find is they be empty inside because these same said people steal from those of us that's in the underground who didn't compromise. And I tell them like this, it's a big difference between being undiscovered and uncompromising. You know what I mean? It's a big difference. I done walked away from several contracts. You feel me? We printing our own contracts. Tell them devil sign that. You dig? So with that being said, a lot of these mainstream artists that's scared to come outside, they see us and freeze up. You know, they on social media, they basically just jockeying for position. And over the years, if you let them keep doing it, they will keep doing it. You know what I mean? If you let a bully or a tyrant run rampant, they're not going to stop, male or female, black or white, and any hue in between. I mean, so a lot of these industry guys, I done called them out. I done been face to face on the same stage in the same stool. You already know what it do. And they be shaking in their boots between me and you. Just real rap. So, you know, earlier this week, you know, I didn't mention any names, but I jumped on a record of an individual who fits this description. You know what I mean? For the past decade, since I did Truth Be Told Not Sold Part 1, jocking my release date, you know what I'm saying? Crowding my release date. And I think that this is based on their handlers making them do this. You feel me? But regardless of who's influencing it or who's pulling the strings for Pinocchio, off with the head of Pinocchio and Geppetto. That's how that go. Really though. So what I find is when you stand on morals and principles, the guys that's perceived to be at the top, they be sick in their stomach. See, in these streets, I'm Modigliani. Y'all saw that. You already know the count, right? See, some of y'all know Pablo Picasso, but you need to do your Googles on Modigliani. Modigliani was twice the artist that Picasso was. And he did it for the love. He wasn't out here trying to make merchandise off his art, trying to make profit off of his art. He did it from his heart. So he knew to put a price tag on it will really be downgrading it. You're devaluing it just by trying to give it monetary value, which is a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. Because the discussion for the day is the boy and the king. You know what I mean? Staying true to the God within, internally, and the true and living being externally, the all in all, the omnipotent. You feel me? So, yeah, if you know, you know. But if you don't, stay tuned. Because I am Modigliani to you Pablo Picassos. And by the way, they say that when Picasso died, his last words on his deathbed before he gave up the ghost and gasped his last gasp of breath trying to get air, the last word he said was the name Modigliani. Because he knew, even though he was famous, he knew in his heart that Modigliani was able to do something that he wasn't able to. And that's what these mainstream artists are. That's what these public figures are. That's what these puppets are. You feel me? That's what these entertainers, most of your entertainers are exactly that. So without further ado, I ain't gonna waste no more time. You feel me? I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but I got my prayer rug right here, family. Real rap. Because when I'm get done talking to y'all, I gotta go make salat, straight facts. You feel me? It's Ramadan. By the way, this has been my most blessed Ramadan, my 15th Ramadan. You feel me? All praises due to Allah, alhamdulillah, rabbil alameen. I done had some challenges, but this has been my most fruitful and fulfilling Ramadan. And the proof of that is gonna be when Ramadan ends. So without further ado, the story begins. I told you I'm telling the story of the boy and the king. In the Middle East, long ago, right? Or what's now called the Middle East. You had a boy who was an aspiring sorcerer, right? He was an aspiring sorcerer because he grew up in a time and in a land where this was the ideology of the day. Sorcery was the protocol. They wasn't praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or whatever name you affectionately use for the creator, right? So there's a king in this land. And the boy is making a name for himself, you know, performing sorcery, but he's really just doing what he's seen his predecessors and family members doing, as the old saying goes. Do what the Romans do when you're in Rome. You feel me? So this was just a custom that he was accustomed to from birth. Anyway, the king summoned the boy and sent for him, told him to come because he wanted to make him the new sorcerer. See, the king had another sorcerer who was getting old. He was getting up in age, right? So with every passing generation, what rises? A new one, right? Okay, so the king, knowing this, he sent for the boy. He wanted his current sorcerer, who was getting up in age, an older man, to teach the boy. So the sorcerer began teaching him enchantment or disenchantment, the art of delusion and deception on a higher level, right? So the boy had to travel from his home to the king's palace. He did this every day, or let's say every week, right? Going through the training. On his way, on the boy's way to the kingdom, he would run into this old man, who we would later find out is a monk, right? A monk who he wasn't given the title of a prophet or a messenger per se, but there are many the scriptures describe as Allah's chosen prophets who might remain nameless. It's just like air. Just because you don't see them or us don't mean that we ain't there. You feel me? So the monk, who was an old wise man, he caught the boy on his journey to the cave. And he summoned the young man. He said, listen, before you go to the king, I would just like to impart some wisdom on you, if I may. And he asked him what he was doing, where he was going. The boy told him, I'm going to see the king. The monk asked him, why are you going to see the king? Well, he's going to have his head sorcerer train me to be the next sorcerer for the kingdom. The monk said, sorcery is deception and illusions. There is no God but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the true and living God, the only reality, right? So the boy, never hearing of Allah, because he grew up in a time and in a land where sorcery was the religion. They didn't subscribe to monotheism in his hood, in his neck of the woods. They subscribe to polytheism, which, as we know, most of us, that means belief in more than one God, which is shirk, haram, astaghfirullah. May Allah protect all of us from that egregious sin which he does not forgive for, right? So the monk is telling the boy, there is no God but Allah. Stick with me and I'll show you the ways of Allah. I'll show you how to submit your will to do his will, and thus the universe will submit to your will. Huh? Because you're striving to do the will of Allah, God, the Most High. So naturally, after a few meetings with the monk, because remember, the boy is seeing the monk on his way to the king, right? So now he's talking to the sorcerer in the king's kingdom, but on his way there, he runs into this monk every day. So now he's conflicted. He don't know what to believe. He don't know if he should believe the sorcerer and the king, because you got to remember, a king, he has prestige. He has royalty. Huh? He's perceived to have power and riches and wealth and all of that. But does he have true health and knowledge of self? That's the question. So the boy, sensing this, excuse me, we ain't doing that. So the boy, sensing this, right? What did he do? He prayed to Allah for understanding, which we should all do. He prayed for the light of understanding, as in, it's pretty much everything. Allah, if I'm supposed to be a sorcerer, make me a sorcerer. Huh? If I'm supposed to be a Muslim, a servant of Allah, then show me to that, because I don't know. This is a young man we talking about, right? So the boy keeps going to the sorcerer. More and more as he's comparing what the old man, the monk, is saying to him, compared to what the sorcerer is saying, he finds himself leaning towards the monk and away from the sorcerer, away from the king who summoned him to make him royalty, quote unquote. Royalty in a worldly sense, not in a righteous sense, right? So the boy is now conflicted, as I just stated. Some more time passes. He's on his way one day to the king. He runs into the monk who's dropping jewels on him, telling him that sorcery has no place. The king that he perceives as powerful, has no real power at all. And that Allah, the monk speaking to the boy saying this, Allah is going to put you in a position to where you have to tap into your inner strength and power. And you currently serving two masters, you're going to try sorcery and you're going to try Islam. And you're going to find that Islam is the true power, where sorcery is tricknology, right? So the boy, he doesn't think anything of it. He took it with a grain of salt. He leaves from the monk. He goes to see the king and the sorcerer, right? On his way there, there's a path, because he had to cross a mountain to get to and from, right? There's a mountain with a boar or a rhinoceros, some type of big animal, a beast, blocking the pathway. The king, his minions, his citizens were trying to travel the same path as the boy. This boar or this animal, this rhinoceros, hippopotamus, whatever let's just say it was a hippo, right? Hungry hippo in the middle of the road. So we can't get through. We can't get past the hippo to keep traveling this road to do what we need to do, to go where we need to go, you know? So the king's servants or the citizens of the kingdom said, hey, isn't that the boy that studies with the sorcerer? Don't you know sorcery? In other words, if you know sorcery, you can move this animal, huh? This grossly large animal, which is blockading and obstructing our path and thus our progress, right? This is a metaphor for those who are able to look deeper than beneath the surface, you see. So the boy remembered what the monk told him. You're going to be at a crossroads because you're currently serving two masters. And you can't do that unless you love one and hate the other, right? So Allah, God, is going to put you in a position where you're going to have to test sorcery juxtaposed to Islam. And you're going to have to make the decision which one is the real power, right? So naturally, the boy, he tries sorcery first because these are the people from the kingdom he's familiar with. So all of these people that's asking him to move the hippo, they believe in sorcery too. They don't know nothing about Islam. So the boy tries to do some sorcery. He tries to do something that the sorcerer taught him. The hippo looked at him and did not move. Didn't move an inch. So now the people are like, oh, he's a fake. I thought you were the new sorcerer. Where did the king find this guy? The discount man? You feel me? Because if you were really a sorcerer, you would be able to clear our path, would you not? So the boy said, okay, he says this in his head. I'm going to pray to Allah. Allah, if you are the true living God and the only reality, I'm humbly asking that you remove this boar from our path so that me and the fellow dwellers of the kingdom can get through and do what we need to do. Amen. And next thing you knew, the hippopotamus rolled out of the way. Some say fell off the cliff. Fell right off the cliff. You feel me? So now the people are astonished. Naturally, you could imagine. All they know is sorcery. They saw this young man try to demonstrate sorcery. It didn't work. They saw him pray. They don't know what he was doing exactly, but they know he summoned something higher and greater than all of them on the earth level. So they asked the boy, how did you move the hippopotamus? The boy said, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, the true and living God. I pray to Allah to remove this hippo from our path if he is real and if he wants us to surrender to do his will. So what do you think happened next? All the people that witnessed this, now they want to be Muslim. Now they want to study with the boy, right? They want to tap in. They want to pray to Allah. How can I do what you just did? Because I thought sorcery was the reality, right? And this is how the people of our day are. We'll get to that shortly. So time will go on. The king discovers that this boy is talking to the monk. The monk, come to find out, is an old man who knew about monotheism before the king established polytheism in the land. So the king and the sorcerer remember this monk. So they say, bring the monk to me. Go get him now. They bring the monk to the king. The monk says, yes, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. He's the true and living God. He's the only reality. The king, wanting everybody to worship him as God, he killed the monk. But fret not, because the scripture says, Holy Quran speaking, think not of those who are slain in the name of Allah as dead. Nay, they live, but you perceive not. In other words, it's no death for a martyr, beloved. So they killed the monk, but did they really? No, because he lived on, as we will see. So now the boy is distraught. He's found the law. He's discovered sorcery is a lie. They killed his, not idol, but his teacher, his role model. You know what I mean? The one that was cultivating him and shaping him and rearing and raising him to be one with the law of God. Huh? Not an idol, but he was so tapped in that he had to separate himself, or else you will be found idolizing him out of ignorance. In which case he would told you, don't praise me, praise he who sent me. Right? So they killed the monk. And now the boy is destroyed. So he says, I bear witness that there's no God but Allah, and king, you ain't him. You're not God, you not Allah, and this sorcerer ain't either. I got more power than both of y'all just because I'm tapped in with the true and living. Of course, the king became irate. He tried to have the sorcerer and the people that were there present, he tried to have them kill the boy, but they were unable to kill him. Because every time they tried to cut him with a sword or something, Allah stayed their hand. They were unsuccessful. They were unable to follow the command of the king and kill the boy. So the king said, you know what? Take him out on a ship in the ocean and throw him in the ocean. Tie like a boulder or something to his feet and push him over the edge. Let the boy drown. Let's see if Allah, his God, will save him, right? So the followers of the king, his soldiers, did just that. They took the boy, they put him on a boat, they tied him up to a pillar on the boat. So the boy is stationary. Allah sent a storm through. So now the boat is rocking. So now the same soldiers who were instructed to kill the boy, they're losing their footing. They losing their leverage. They about to go over the edge. Huh? They need to hit the deck. The boy being tied to a pillar, he was safe and sound. You see? He was safe and sound. And by him being safe and sound, you see, what this did was that proved to the soldiers before they died, because they died. You see, let me switch the beat real quick. We're gonna switch the beat. So the soldiers died. By the way, these beats that you hearing, they on the album. Coming soon. So the soldiers, they going over the edge, right? They trying to hit the deck. They trying to, no, get your dumb ass in this casket. No, you don't even get a casket. You going in the ocean, and y'all trying to drown this man, but y'all fools can't swim. And even if you could, you ain't gonna survive this storm that Allah sent. So the boy is safe. Huh? He manages to get himself out, and the storm ceases. So now he goes back to the king and the sorcerer, right? And they're astonished. They can't believe it. So they tried to kill him twice and were unsuccessful. So they keep trying, they're unsuccessful. So finally the boy tells them, look, I'm going to tell you how you could kill me. Huh? This is the boy talking to the king. I'm going to tell you how you can kill me. This is what you do. Get you a bow and arrow, right? You love your bow and arrow. Gather all of the people of the kingdom, right? I'm going to stand in front of you with your bow and arrow. And if you say, I bear witness that there's no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger, when you pull the trigger, figuratively speaking, Allah, God, will allow you to kill me. But you got to do it exactly like I said. So the king, being totally, utterly frustrated, wanting to kill the boy, and wanting his kingdom, the people in his kingdom, to worship him as though he was God, he was foaming at the mouth, salivating at the idea of killing the boy, right? So we take him out in front of the whole kingdom. All the people of the kingdom are there. The king grabs his bow and arrow, like the boy said, but instead of saying out loud with conviction, I bear witness there's no God but Allah, he mumbled it under his breath. I bear witness there's no God but Allah. And when he shot the arrow, it stopped midway. So the boy raised his voice and said, no, you have to say it so they can hear you. I bear witness that there is no God but God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Muhammad is his messenger. Don't cheat. This is what the boy is telling the king. I told you what to do. I gave you the cheat code, and you still trying to cheat. Huh? So, the king picks up the arrow, picks up the bow and arrow, and this time he says, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. And when he let the arrow go, it struck the boy in the heart. The boy fell to his knees. In his last breath, he bare witness that there is no God but God, and he gave the ghost. Now the king, looking at all of the people in his kingdom, like, see, this is the madman that turned you against me. He told you about some God. The king wants his kingdom to worship him like he's a law God. But that's not what happened. The people of the kingdom bared witness that there was no God but Allah. They followed the God of the boy and chose to forsake the king and his sorcerer, right? So obviously the kingdom didn't stand, huh? Because a kingdom that's at war with itself, a house divided shall not stand, you know. So he won the battle, the king. He got what he wanted. You wanted to kill the boy, right? You've been trying and trying and trying. The kingdom sees this. They see him trying to kill this boy unsuccessfully. Then they see the boy performing what appears to be miracles in their sight, praying to this Allah, God, right? So when the boy lost his life, but like the scripture says, think not of those who are slain in the way of God or in the name of Allah as dead. No, they live, but you understand it not. They're alive, but you don't understand everlasting and eternal life, you see? So with that being the case, the moral of the story is there's no death for the righteous. The moral of the story is you're gonna die anyway, buddy. The moral of the story is real men don't fear being a martyr. In fact about it, we embrace the concept and look forward to dying such a noble and honorable death. Huh? Men go to war, unjust wars every day, and die in war. And they're viewed as the highest of patriots. Never mind that they over there stealing people's oil, stealing people's gold, stealing people's natural resources, their customs, their Norways, their folkways, their religion. Never mind none of that. He died for his country, so he's a hero. So what about a man or a woman that dies in the cause of Allah? You feel me? See, that's what these industry niggas don't understand. That's what I'm getting at. I am the boy. I am that boy. You feel me? And all of y'all that claim to be the king, we gonna see. Because I think it's about to be your head at the guillotine. Allahu Akbar. You understand that? You understand me? So yeah, it's Ramadan. I pray everybody that's observing is having a blessed Ramadan. Because 15 years in Islam, huh? I must say this is my best Ramadan. I've come into so many revelations and epiphanies and deeper understandings and new opportunities, and I feel myself transitioning and, you know, going through this metamorphosis, if you will, becoming greater than that which I ever thought I could be by Allah's permission, assistance, divine intervention. You dig it? All praises due to the true and living God. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. See, I'm on some of that. By the way, next Saturday, I don't know if I'm going to be here or not because, speaking of righteousness, my son turns 9 years old next Saturday, a week from today. Shout out to my boy, SalaamAlaikum, Messiah. You feel me? He's gone for the weekend. You know how that go. But he lived with me full time, so he'll be back Sunday because we got class on Monday. As some of you may know, I homeschool my son. Full-time dad. He stayed with me full-time. Yeah. I don't just talk. I walk this walk. You feel me? Yeah. And could chased the ring and been a public figure or mainstream artist. But my soul means so much more than popularity, bro. I ain't care about popularity in goddamn high school. You think I'm gonna be out here jumping through hoops of fire like a circus lion trying to get likes and views and subscribers and followers? Man, I am part of the 144,000 for real. You feel me? If you don't, then don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Because to all of you that claim to love Jesus, that brother didn't have a big following either. In fact, in the words of the minister, his work started very narrow. He was a bit of a nationalist. If you know, you know, a nationalist. And he started out speaking to black people, the children of Israel, the lost sheep. He said, go not in the way of the Jew or the Gentile or the Sumerians, but go ye to the lost sheep, the darker hue, the original Hebrew. Then he said, once he got their attention and provided them with the knowledge of self, take this message to every nation, kindred, and tongue. Fast forward to today, free Palestine. You feel me? Free all of those on the planet that's oppressed, especially that got Allah in their left breast. That's in their heart. You feel me? Straight like that. So yeah, don't be like the sorcerer, thinking that you the token Negro next to the oppressor or the white man, So you think you got the best seat in the house, Juvenile voice. Or you think you better than your people, Juvenile voice, but you're not, And there's always gonna come along a young man such as myself, styling and profiling, and if you push the wrong button, I'ma get the wildin'. In the name of our Father who art in heaven, it's always gonna be a young soldier like me to come and clean up that mess and make the crooked places straight. Allahu Akbar. That means God is the greatest, not me and not you. Allahu Akbar. There's none greater than Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad Rasulullah alayhi salam, peace and blessings be upon him forever and ever. Muhammad is his messenger. Amen. So yeah, with that being said, I've been talking for a little more than a half hour now. You feel me? We're going to go ahead and get ready to wrap this plane, or land this plane, excuse me. We're going to wrap this up. But before I go, you know, in the spirit of what it is that I'm discussing with you all and what I'm talking about, I just want to play a record that I released some years back. As y'all know, my latest project that I'm getting ready to release, which the goal is to have it out in April, is done. I just got to take care of a few little things and press the button. I ain't buying that shit. It's coming this year. But this is my 14th project, beloved. And December will be 19 years. So in 18 years, I gave you 14 albums as an independent artist and walked away from at least 5 record deals that I was offered by mainstream commercial labels. We ain't talking about mom and pop's record shop. We talking about illustrious billion-dollar record labels that looked at me like I wasn't supposed to know my worth, so I didn't sign the contract. So I'm gonna play this record, if you may bear with me, before I get up out of here. It's called Uncompromising. It's really called Uncompromised, but when I wrote it, I titled it Uncompromising. And the concept is, I will not sell my soul. I'm not like these guys that's out here, you know, trying to get a butter biscuit and a piece of bitten chicken at the back door of the slave master, crumbs off the table, and act like I just ate a feast. No. I would rather have a little bit of a lot than a whole lot of a little bit. Facto. So with that being the case, I just want to, again, before we go, give a little promo. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody that can relate to the boy in that story. That's willing to die for godly purposes. You know what I mean? In the name and in the way of the Most High. Whether you call him Allah, whether you call him Jah, Ra, or Yahweh, Jehovah, whatever you call him. You know what I'm saying? All the good names are for the Creator. So with that being the case, I told y'all it was going to be an EP. It's not, beloved. It's going to be 13 songs. Because I do too much work to be giving y'all EPs. I do too much work. You can't condense, encapsulate, and abbreviate my work. You just can't. That's why I'm about to drop my 14th album. You want to hear an EP? Go listen to Mixtapes at Heartache 1.5 on the channel. That's 8 songs for you. I did that. I dropped that September last year. Go check that out. And it was a preliminary for this that you seeing unfolding and, you know, as I'm rolling out with my rollout. By the way, shout out to all you rappers that's dick riding me, trying to jock me for my rollout. Huh? Please hop off before I tell your girl to come here. And every girl that's with her. Stop it, I say. You are a small thing to a large king. I don't care what them record labels told you. I don't care about none of that. You feel me? Yeah, y'all heard that. Some of y'all know what that is. So yeah, it's not an EP, 13 songs. You feel me? And I want to say that this is the last thing before we go. I've been talking nearly 40 minutes. Normally, those of you that have been following me for years, y'all know I don't cuss in my music, beloved. I got over 10 albums, no curses in my verses. The flow damn near perfect. You know what I'm saying? But I was in EP mode this year and really just going through the motions of life and the transitional growing pains. And I just decided to unfilter this year. So the concept was when I'm in EP mode, I'm going straight savage. When I'm in LP mode, I'm just going to do what I normally do. You see? But what I'm going to do is when I'm in E.T.Ali mode, because this album I'm dropping is part 1 in a 3-part series. So this is I Ain't Buying That Shit, the E.T.Ali tape 1.0. Then I'll give you 2 more E.T.Ali tapes or additions to the series that I'm speaking of. So when I'm in E.T.Ali album mode, I'm going to give you what I've been giving you on these freestyles and these monologues, the type of content you're going to hear on this album. Because y'all going to hear me in a different way that some of y'all not used to hearing me. You feel me? And then when I'm not in E.T.Ali mode, I'm going to do what y'all are accustomed to hearing from me. Shout out to Jason Black. Shout out to Thought Crimes. Shout out to Sheep Stay Sleep TV. We are our own agency. We got to heal before we build, and that's real. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to name everybody, but I'm networking with some people behind the scenes, whether on the internet or whether in the streets, on the grassroots, you know what I'm saying, in my steel-toe boots, doing what it supposed to. You feel me? But they've been trying to blackball and outlaw the God for too long, but I got a couple tricks up my sleeve, beloved. So stay tuned, huh? Because the true and living sent me as a light to shine and speak to you. And I'm doing the best I can. So in the name of Allah, SalaamAlaikum to those that know what's going on. Ramadan Mubarak to those that know what's going on. Yesterday was Jummah. You know what I'm saying? Jummah Mubarak to those that know what's going on. Today is the Sabbath for those that consider themselves Hebrew and subscribe to Judaic law or Judaism, Happy Sabbath to you. You feel me? All y'all getting ready for the eclipse? If you scared, maybe it's because you out here doing dirt and you know you got a guilty conscience. Because this eclipse signifies karma on the highest scale. Huh? Individually, collectively, there's going to be universal karma that shows up at all of our door. So all y'all that's nervous and shaking and, I don't know what to do about the eclipse and, they're canceling schools and, should we lock our doors? Yeah, if you know you a devil and the gods is outside, lock your door. But if you a product of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then the only thing you fear is his chastisement. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that. E.T.Ali, God Body MC, Kaya Slaughter County, up the way, USA, 216 KING. I appreciate you for tuning in with me for these superior facts. Ariane Ali speaking. We going to leave it at that. As-salaam'alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Some of y'all remember this, but if you never heard it, check me out. It's a difference between being undiscovered and uncompromising. Nah, man. Most righteous. Black Dollar Edutainment. Right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hold the applause. The incomparable, uncompromising E.T.Ali. Now I mean, there's a difference between I'm out of here, beloved. And uncompromising. Now I mean, a big difference between being undiscovered and uncompromising. Now I mean, there's a difference between being undiscovered and uncompromising. Now I mean, a big difference between being undiscovered and uncompromising. Y'all don't hear me though. Been doing this since far like MJ. Every time, why you never seen this big stage? No Hollywood, my posse on Broadway. Never been greedy, I wanna see it all. Hey, executives don't wanna sit in at their table. So $DOLLAAR Edutainment is a label. We the new rapper lot. I'm Jay Prince. We don't sound mumble rappers cause they don't make sense. I'm down to earth even when I'm in my spaceship. I pay bills and taxes, I don't pay rent. I stay lit and I'm rolling easy waters. Black Panther earn stripes sorta like a tiger. Music Messiah spit fire ally is the man in Japan and they love me in China. And no, I ride with the riders. How I live it lava in my saliva. No Lucius, but I built an empire. Girls scream area when I go inside her, cause she know I'm probably your favorite rapper, Ghost Rider. And started out as a soldier. Cleveland's original in general. That's on my rug, beloved, y'all see it? You see me? There's a difference between being undiscovered and uncompromising. Now I mean, this ain't a fashion statement. This is in me, it ain't on me. Real rap. Being undiscovered and uncompromising. Now I mean, big difference between being undiscovered and uncompromising. Y'all don't hear me though? I put the beat on repeat and go Loch Ness. I eat rappers, digress and digest.